I read 8 books in the month of December. 8. It's a lot for me. I mean, I'm working, I'm doing other stuff, and that's a lot of books to read in 1 month. So I was very excited that I got a lot read in the month of December, and I think I owe it to BookTube because whenever I was feeling like I didn't want to read, I would go on BookTube and then I'd get inspired to pick up a book. So thanks guys. You're awesome. Okay, so here's my December wrap up, and I will let you know how I liked all the books that I read. The first book I read was Break It Up by E.M.Tippets, and it was a companion novel to someone else's fairy tale and Nobody's Damsel, I think. I don't know, I have to look that up for you. But it was a companion novel of 2 books that I already read that I really liked, and I was very, very excited when I got into this book and found out that it was the same characters that I had already previously read and loved. So of course I gave it 5 stars, and I did a review of it on the channel. If you want to check that out, I'll leave a link for it. But yeah, overall, great book, 5 stars. You should read it. The next book I read was probably my favorite of all of the books that I read in 2013, which I think I read 120 books, so that's saying a lot. And it is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I talked about this in a video that's coming up. I'm going to do a 2013 wrap-up of all of my favorites that I read in this year. And this was definitely one of my favorites. I just loved it. I love the fantasy elements because I haven't really read a lot of fantasy, and I loved the main character was really, really kick butt, and the love interests, there was like a little love triangle going on, and a mystery, and action, and romance, and it was like seriously the best book I've read in a long time. So 10 out of 5 stars for this one. It was really good. After I read Throne of Glass, I wanted to take a little break and read some contemporary, so I picked up Just One Day by Gail Forman, and I also really love this one. This is like, I feel like it's a hit or miss. Some people don't like it, but for me, I was able to connect to the character really well, and I just loved any kind of book that's like traveling. I love it, so I really liked that she was in France for this one. And I loved it so much that I'm making my mom read it, and she's about that much in, so she likes it so far too. So I would say probably 10 out of 5 stars for this one as well. After Just One Day, I was in a book hangover and I wanted more contemporary. I was just on this contemporary kick, I don't know why. So I picked up Frigid by Jennifer Armentrout because I had gotten this one at a book signing, and I was like, I need to wait till it snows to read it, and then I had a snow day off from work, and it was just the perfect time to read it. I was really glad I did because I ended up giving this one 5 out of 5 stars, which I wasn't surprised because it's Jennifer Armentrout. You really can't go wrong with her books. So yes, definitely love this one. Then for some reason I decided that I wanted to start reading ebooks again. I don't know why, because usually I don't like that, but I've been reading while I'm out lately, so I think that's why, because I can read it on my phone. So I read Sharkbait 2, I think it's Fish Out of Water is the name, but it's from the Sharkbait series, and it's by Jen Cooksey, I believe. And this one, it was hard for me to get into because it was a lot of just like teenagers hanging out. They went on like a camping trip, and it was just, I don't know, it was hard for me to get into it. So I think I'm going to give it like 3.5 stars because towards the middle and towards the end I really, really got into it, and there was like a really big cliffhanger. So now I need the 3rd book right away because I need to know what happens. But yeah, I usually really like that series, and I'm gonna give it 3.5 stars. So then I read Dragonfly by Leah Talbert Moore, and this one she had sent me for review a while back, but since it's an ebook, I just hadn't gotten to it because I literally have so many physical books that I just need to get to first. But I was out and I needed a book to read, so I just read it on my phone, and oh my god, it was so good. I finished it in like 2 days, devoured it completely, and I give it, I think I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, maybe 5. But the main character, Jack, or the main love interest, he reminded me of Seth Cohen and Ryan Atwood from the OC. Like if you if you mashed them together, that's the kind of character that it reminded me of, where he's like, he doesn't want to be part of like the high class anymore. He doesn't want to be like rich and all the strings that come attached to that. And he's also kind of like Ryan Atwood, where he's like kind of like dark and mysterious, and like he's like a new guy at school, and I don't know, I just really liked that character, and even though he had a lot of flaws, it just made for a more interesting story. So definitely if you like the OC, you might like that. I don't know. I like the OC, so. Now I'm rambling. Alright, the book that I read was Every Little Secret by Kate Ashton, I believe. I'll have to check that. And that one I also really liked. I think I gave that either 4 or 5 stars on Goodreads. I can't remember. So I thought that that one was really good because it was very dramatic and very, like, realistic to life, but yet it was still a romantic story, like a contemporary book. But it just felt more real than, you know, some of these other books that I've read. Again, it sucked me into the story. I really liked the characters. They were characters that we had met in one of her previous books. It was a companion novel. And I can't wait to read Every Little Dream, which is her 3rd book. And she also sent me that one, so I will be reading that and reviewing it. Oh, and if you wanted to see my review for Dragonfly, I did it on my blog today, so I will leave that down below as well. And then the last book that I read in December is Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas. And of course, I love this one. I can't decide which one I like better. I think I'm gonna go with Throne of Glass, just because, like, that's the best part of, like, relationships and, like, anything is the beginning, I think. So I really liked that. But then this one was just really good as well. And I like how the mystery of, like, the different marks and kind of, like, who she is and all that, it's all unraveling and we're kind of learning it bit by bit. So, of course, this one, you know, has a special place in my heart. And I'm gonna go with 10 out of 5 stars for this one as well. If you guys haven't started this series, you really need to. I'm, like, so mad that I waited so long to start it because it's just that good. So, yeah. Favorite author of 2013 is Sarah J. Maas. So these were the books that I read in December of 2013, and plus the ebooks that I mentioned. And I think I did pretty well this month. Hopefully 2014 is just as good. I will be putting up my 2013 wrap-up soon, so keep an eye out for that. Probably like the 31st, where I mention all of my favorite books that I read this year, and there were a lot. So keep an eye out for that, and thanks for watching, guys. Bye.